What's up everybody, Danny's here and we are back at it again with another video. But before we get into it, make sure you check out all the links in the description below. So, as I've noticed, the Virtual Boy is coming out on the Nintendo Switch and on the Nintendo Switch 2. But what I've noticed is that the Virtual Boy does require an accessory, but what is the first game that comes to mind when the Virtual Boy comes out on the Nintendo Switch and on the Nintendo Switch 2? So I would be able to say Mario's Tennis was the first game that comes to mind when I see the Virtual Boy. I mean, the Virtual Boy is one of Nintendo's biggest failure, but now that they don't care anymore that the Virtual Boy was one of Nintendo's biggest failure, they are deciding to bring it back somehow. But with the Virtual Boy, it's a virtual reality console, which means if you use it too much, it's going to hurt your eyes. So I would recommend that if Nintendo says it's option, you can either play it in VR or not in VR mode. I think Nintendo would like you to play it in VR mode, but maybe you could do it not in VR mode, probably. Because they're deciding there's lots of features Nintendo will do that the Switch can do and the Switch 2 that can do too. So definitely though, the Virtual Boy is a Nintendo virtual reality console, but also though, it uses a controller that looks a lot like the Nintendo 64 controller, definitely. I mean, there's just a comparison of the Virtual Boy controller and the Nintendo 64 controller. But definitely, though, I think the Virtual Boy controller would look a lot like any other controllers. It kind of reminds me of the PlayStation 1 controller, though, definitely, and the PS2 controller. But definitely, though, I kind of like how Nintendo added this console to the Nintendo Switch and on the Switch 2, the Virtual Boy, because now that they don't care about any failed consoles, I think the Virtual Boy is going to be bringing back to the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. But however, one of Nintendo's biggest failures, it used to be the Wii U. Everybody was commenting a lot about the Wii U, honestly, and it was a failed console. It was a huge, tragic downfall, the Wii U. But it's not a tragic downfall because it's a great console, the Wii U. Because people said the Wii U may not be a great console in their opinion, but we all have our own opinions. But I still can handle and get used to people's opinions about what console they like or don't like about it. That's the thing. But plus, everybody's got to handle it and get used to this. Like me. You gotta understand. But even though there's lots of things Nintendo has to do, like they have to make room for other games to be added on the Nintendo Switch and on the Nintendo Switch 2. Usually there's lots of great games Nintendo should put on the Switch 1 and on the Switch 2. But however, now that we have Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Nintendo Switch, and for people who don't own Super Mario 3D All-Stars, you can't get it because it's not for resale. That's the thing. But definitely though, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 are coming on the Nintendo Switch. So if you have Super Mario 3D All-Stars, it does feature Super Mario Galaxy. If you want, then you can just get Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, definitely. That's for sure though. So anyways, for the Virtual Boy, I'm hoping this will go well on the Switch 1 and on the Switch 2. But however, Nintendo really knows what games should they add, because the Virtual Boy was only a short amount of time, because it kind of makes a lot of sense that they will only release only a few Virtual Boy games, but we don't know yet, that's for sure, because I know Nintendo used to release a lot of Wii U games, but there's only a few Wii U games for sure though. So as I was saying, that there is a lot of games Nintendo should add to the Switch 1 and on the Switch 2. But definitely they added in the Virtual Boy. But there's a lot of concepts about the Nintendo DS and Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Switch Online I wonder if that's going to be a new retro game in the future, though. So, anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment and share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new to this channel. Make sure to hit that bell notification every time you get notified when I post a video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace!